Hello, and welcome back to my channel. Today's special guest star is Katelyn. Katelyn and I used to work together, and she is the one who introduced me to the concept of booktubes.
That's right. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yep, I'd never heard of it before. Then I got obsessed. So today, she is my guest. And what are we talking about today, Katelyn?
Well, we picked out like a handful of genres that we're going to share our favorite book from each genre. Mm-hmm. Or one of our favorites.
Yes, that we want to be very clear about. These are just one of our favorites. We feel horrible that we may be missing, letting out other favorites.
I feel like there has to be just, a really obvious choice that I just totally forgot about. And...
Yes, I agree. Yes, and then I feel bad, oh my word, I actually left that book out, and that was really my favorite.
Yeah.
So, there may be a follow-up video to this, but for now, these are our favorites.
Yes.
Today.
Okay.
For today. All right, first genre.
Mystery thriller.
Okay.
Okay, and I chose And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie.
Good choice. Yes.
The first time that I read this was when I was in junior high, and I was just so shocked by the ending, and it's just one book that I always would think about for years afterward, and then we just read it together not too long ago.
Yeah, and I was the same way. I kind of knew who did it, but
yeah,
I did not remember a lot about it.
I was upset because I did remember how it ended, and it was less enjoyable the second time around, just knowing how it ends, but you cannot beat Agatha Christie, And Then There Were None.
No, that is...
This is the golden standard of mystery.
It really is.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree. My choice for favorite mystery was The Westing Game by Ellen Raskin. And I read this, same thing, read it in junior high, and it just blew me away. It's a very contained, it's people in a condominium, someone gets murdered, it's a snowy weekend, so all of the suspects are in the apartment building, and the main kind of detective is a middle school kid. So
I think I read this a long time ago, because I know my dad has this book, and I'm pretty sure I read it. I can't remember anything about it. When you're
you should reread
saying
it.
what it's about, that it doesn't sound familiar, but I know I read this.
You should reread it. You will love it.
I should. My dad has
there
it.
You go.
So.
Oh, so you don't actually need that copy?
Yeah. This is a nicer copy than he has, though.
It's just so good, and there's a puzzle. You probably could figure it out if you really take your time and think about it, which I thought was so fascinating when I read it the first time. And then I made my kids read it. I'm actually not sure if they did read it, but I tried to make them read it. And my friend Brent, also one of his favorites. So
is it written for younger people, or is it?
Probably, but I think you would enjoy it just as much as an adult. That's how, it's just such a good, and there's little clues throughout. You can kind of puzzle through it, and plus the fact that it's a limited suspect list. They're all on the premises.
That's the best.
It's just the best way, which is how And Then There Were None was. Yeah. So that's mine for favorite mystery.
Okay. The next genre is favorite series. So I guess that's not a genre. It's more like a category. I don't know.
I guess it is a category.
But
okay, category.
This is what a lot of people I think would say. A lot of people my age would say their favorite series is Harry Potter. I don't even think I can say anything that hasn't been said before. It's just such a...
I've never read it, so...
Well,
you can tell me about it.
Okay. This is my... I read this for the first time, I think, in 4th grade? 3rd grade, 4th grade, around there. And I was so against reading Harry Potter because I thought it was for boys only. So I ended up going to see the movie when it came out and loved it. I was like, okay, maybe it's not just for boys. I guess I'll read it. And I fell in love with it. So,
I kind of remember you saying that this is the series that got you to be such a reader. Was that right? Like, these books sucked you in.
I was actually thinking about that the other day. Like, what... And I think I became a reader before Harry Potter.
Oh, okay.
Because I was super into reading Nancy Drew and A Series of Unfortunate Events.
Yeah.
I think that was before Harry Potter.
That was a good...
But, I mean, this is definitely something that solidified my love for reading.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think Nancy Drew... Well, that was one of mine. And actually, Hardy Boys. Did you read the Hardy Boys?
No.
Oh, I love the Hardy Boys.
No, but I play the Nancy Drew computer games, and the Hardy Boys make appearances, so I feel very familiar with them.
Okay, seen it. So you know what Frank and Joe are up to.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And, Trixie Belden. That was another, like, mystery series.
I've never heard of it.
Oh, I loved those books, too. They were so good.
It's so nostalgic to, like, just
It
think
really
about
is.
the books that you read when you were younger.
It really
And
is.
this is one of them. This is very nostalgic to reread Harry Potter. And it was so fun because, you know, I started reading it when I was probably 9 or 10 years old, and then as the books were released, I was, like, in high school.
Mm-hmm.
So it was kind of like I grew up with Harry Potter.
Mm-hmm.
And...
I do kind of remember reading that J.K. Rowling wrote the books. Like, the first book was at a lower reading level, and she did make it more mature.
Yeah, because, like, it starts getting a lot darker
Okay.
as you read on, and yeah.
I'm kind of excited to read it. I mean, I have to because it's on my 100 books scratch off, I think. I'm pretty sure it is, yeah. And, again, I'm going to get to scratch off one thing for reading, 9 books? That's not fair.
I think it's 7.
Oh, that's still a lot, but yeah. That's
think it's
not really
7.
fair.
And 8 movies.
I don't have time for either of those for this year. But I will borrow your...
Yes, yeah, I can leave this here.
Well, and Caitlin pointed out, it smells like an old book.
Yeah, it smells so good.
I
It's
love
like-
how books smell.
It smells like a library.
I just love that. It's like slightly sweet.
Yes.
Oh, I love it. I actually don't have a favorite series. I don't think I just did one about the Lord of the Rings. So I guess, but that's more of a trilogy. I start series and then I don't really finish them.
Yeah.
Or I kind of lose interest, or the author stops writing them. Game of Thrones, so maybe that happens sometimes.
And Patrick Rothfuss, is that his name? He's writing.
Yeah, I'm not starting
ticks me
that until the third one's finished.
Don't.
Oh, okay. He's got YouTube videos talking about how hard it is for him to write the final book.
I don't care.
I
Just write it.
Which is kind of like, don't start. Because he hasn't even, I feel like he hasn't even started the last book. Or maybe he has, but he's just like...
It's been since, I think, 2011. Just so you know what we're talking about.
I'm not going to start. Well, actually,
Since
I
it's
have
last
it
book.
right here. I have that book.
And they're such big books. So I'm upset because when the third book finally comes out, I'm going to have to reread the first 2. And it's going to be so time consuming. They're really good. That's the thing. They're amazing books.
Yeah, I'm
so,
per your warning, I'm going to wait to start this until I know the last one is.
Definitely.
Because I got burned with Game of Thrones. And I'm not going to watch it, so I don't know.
It's so upsetting.
Yeah. So I guess my favorite series, I don't know what to say. Maybe, I mentioned I do love the Black Dagger Brotherhood. That's like kind of a modern vampire kind of books. But yeah, I don't really have a favorite series.
I do want to read Lord of the Rings after hearing you talk about it.
Oh,
That
you can borrow my
convinced me.
copy. We'll just swap it. That'll be fun.
Alright, the next genre is young adult. I don't even know what classifies something as young adult. I think basically if the characters are young adults, I think.
That's my question. I don't know.
Because this is young adult sci-fi. It's called
Okay.
The Knife of Never Letting Go, so it's like a genre within a genre, I guess.
Okay.
It has been years since I read this. When I was in college, I kind of stopped reading for a while because I just didn't have time. And then when I graduated, I started working full time. I got back into reading, and this was one of the first series that I picked up. So this is like, it takes place on this planet where there are no women at all. It's just men and boys on this planet. And you can hear everybody's thoughts constantly, even animals, squirrels, dogs.
It's horrible.
And so there's just like this constant noise. And it's almost like you can just like feel like the stress of it, of always having this noise and there's never any peace. And it kind of takes a little bit of getting used to reading it because it's like a stream of consciousness type of writing style. And it is so fun though. It's so fast paced. This is the first in a trilogy.
Oh, did you read all of them?
Yeah, because this book I remember ends on like a crazy cliffhanger. So you just binge read these books, and it follows this boy named Todd.
I could read that.
And he stumbles upon a secret, which sets him on this like really dangerous adventure. And it is so good. He has a dog, and so you can hear the dog's thoughts the whole time, and it's so funny and just like endearing. I loved it so much.
I could definitely read that.
Yeah,
that does sound really good.
It because I forget so much about it, but it's a book that I just like. I always think about it, like that was such a good book.
That's kind of how I felt about Secret History. I remembered how I felt when I read it, and I remember loving it, but I forgot so much about it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of fun. You know you're going to pick it up.
Yeah.
You know you're going to love it.
That's nice when you can, like, forget so much about a book that you love, because then you can just reread it and enjoy it all over again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like there's no gamble here. You're just going to love this book, but you don't remember. It's, like, perfect.
Yeah.
I agree. So what genre is this? Oh, YA.
Yeah.
All right, so this makes me sound nerdy. My favorite YA book. And the reason why I think this qualifies as YA, this is Little Women. By Louisa May Alcott. And look how old this is. And my aunt bought me this for Christmas. I know. To Andy from Uncle Bob, Aunt Barb, Bobby, and Danny. 1977. Oh wait, April. That must have been my birthday. Oh, this was for my birthday instead. I have read this book so many times. It is my favorite YA. And it's the four sisters. It's all the drama of sisters. There's romance. There's all this kind of scheming. And, you know, you've got Jo, who's... I guess she's kind of the main character. And all of her adventures. And I remember some of the stuff that was in there, I just thought was so... I wanted to do it myself. Like, I guess Jo wrote a book. And I'm like, I'm going to write a book too. And it just... I loved it, and I've read it over and over again, and this is a book that I might reread pretty soon, because I do feel like I've forgotten so much. And the movie was so good.
I've never read it. I've never read the movie. I've heard so many good things about it, though.
Not the Winona Ryder one.
Okay.
I did not see that one.
So maybe it is good?
But the new one is really good.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, it might be good.
Yeah, when I was younger, I had these books that were based on Little Women. It was like one book for each daughter, I guess.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how much it actually tied in to the real story.
Yeah.
Or not, but
I've
never actually...
It's just so good. So good. And the characters are... You just love every single character for different reasons, and the whole setting, and it's after the Civil War, and it's just so charming in so many ways. But it's definitely young adult. Like, it's not... I mean, it's a classic too, I guess, but it's definitely young adult. I mean, it's like teenage girls.
Yeah.
Drama.
Oh, yeah.
It's nerdy young adult, but it's young adult nonetheless. So what's our next genre?
Romance.
Got my favorite.
Okay. My favorite romance, this is also a trilogy, but this is the first book. It's called The Bronze Horseman. And I've watched a lot of YouTubers talk about this, and so many people hate it because they say the relationship in this is like very toxic, which I can see what they're saying, but I don't care. Though. I love it. I like it when it's toxic.
Yeah, as a Sid and Nancy fan, I'm like, yeah.
But this takes place.
Although as a counselor, I should probably be like, no.
Yeah, no, stay away from toxic men.
That's true. But it's just so romantic.
It is. But this takes place in Russia during World War II. So
That's
it's
romantic.
it's also very intense at the same time.
Okay.
Like, this is when I used to tab my book. All of the blue tabs are for when I cried. Because it's very intense. And
I love that.
you can see, like, this is a big book. And there's 3 of them. They're all this big. So, like, it's a very epic romance. Which I think is a big reason why I like it so much. Because you just get so invested in their relationship. Because you spend so much time with them.
Yeah.
And, like, it's not, like, all sunshine and rainbows.
Right.
They're in the war, first of all. So they're dealing with that. But then just, like, their relationship, they have so many struggles just because they're both flawed people. And
Okay.
so they really struggle a lot over the years. But it's just, like, it is so good and so romantic. I loved it.
So is the whole trilogy the love story?
Yes,
Oh,
yeah.
That's really...
Yeah.
Oh, I would love
And, like,
that.
you follow them from, I think when it starts, the girl is, like, 16, I think?
Okay.
16 or 18. And by the end of the series, they're, like, old people. They're,
Oh my
like,
gosh.
they have grandkids and stuff. I mean, I guess that's a spoiler, but...
Oh, so they get together. So they make it?
Barely.
I love the tabs, though.
Yeah, I need to get back into tabbing.
I'm trying to.
Yeah.
Again, I've watched some booktubes about tabbing. So.
I have, like, advice on...
Oh, some of them are so detailed.
So, yeah.
I mean, the different colors meaning different things, and they also highlight the passage, and maybe...
I think I basically use the colors to, like, mark my emotions. Like, blue for when I'm sad, and...
Yeah.
Orange is when I laughed or something.
Yeah, and I think I tried to tab, like, really good writing.
Yeah.
Something that I would want to use the rest of my life. Like green, because, like, plant a seed kind of thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So, okay, my love story is much smaller, Persuasion.
Yes.
It's so skinny. But this is my favorite. I think I've read this romance probably 3 or 4 times, and I'm going to reread this one very soon because I've forgotten enough about it that I can read it again. And didn't I make you read this?
Yes, I'm so glad that you did, because it really is so good.
Yes, and there's a part, I mean, it's Jane Austen, so you're pretty sure they're going to get together in the end, but there's a part where it really seems like maybe not.
Yeah.
And then, just the way it...
The letter at
The
the
letter
end.
is...
Like...
Yes.
It's so good.
Oh, it is... So, it just melts your heart. And it's also so exciting. And then I'm not going to give away too much. You should definitely read. I highly recommend Persuasion. And it's the kind of book you start and you think, I'm never going to be able to get through this. The language is difficult. But you just, as soon as you start reading it, all of a sudden the language, you kind of, like your mind is translating it just naturally.
Yeah. It's weird how it happens, but it does. Like,
yeah.
Couple chapters in, all of a sudden it's like, then you're speaking that way yourself.
Yes. Yes, so true. But Jane Austen's Persuasion, I also like the fact that the protagonist is older. Like she's looking back on a past love. So it adds a whole different perspective. And I love that because that's not the normal with Jane Austen. So it was also kind of just this lost love and the regret, and it's just so good and such a different perspective. But yeah, this one always gets me.
I like your copy too.
Isn't that
That's
pretty?
very nice, yeah.
Yeah, I love this. You know what? I don't think I've read this particular copy.
It seems so much bigger than my copy. Mine seems so thin.
Well, look at the borders.
Oh, shoot. Why?
That could be. I don't know. Maybe it makes you feel like you've read more.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, Persuasion. I definitely recommend. Definitely.
I second that. Okay, this next genre is our favorite classic. And this, the one I chose, is actually just my favorite book ever. Right now, at least.
Shut.
Do what you say.
Oh my gosh.
Jane Eyre. Yeah, Jane Eyre.
Oh, absolutely. That is so
Yeah.
cool. Your copy is so pretty.
Well, yeah, so I read this because I had to. My senior year of high school, it was for my English class. And I was just, like, indifferent to it. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. I was just reading it because I had to. But then I was just scrolling through books years later, and I saw this copy, and I just was, like, so attracted to the way that this looks. Let me hold it up for the camera
Yeah,
so you
it's
can see it.
beautiful.
It's so pretty. And that's why I bought it. Just because of the cover. And I was like, I guess I could reread it, see how I feel about it. And I just completely fell in love with this story with Jane. I love her so much.
She is great.
Like, she inspires me so much.
Yep.
And, like, it's weird because, like, I relate to her in a lot of ways, and then I aspire to be more like her in a lot of ways.
Mm-hmm. I love how witty she is.
Mm-hmm.
And she just questions so much things that are told her. Even as a child, she just kind of questions it. Like, she's so, kind of non-conventional, which plays into a big part at the end then. Like, she's a very, like, that part of her personality really plays into that last part.
She really, like, stands by her convictions when it's, like, the hardest thing to do.
Yep.
And, like,
and you see it developing through the book. I mean, that's such a great part of it.
Yeah. To the point that she's, like, denying herself what she wants because it goes against her morals, her convictions, and, like, that is just so inspiring to me because just to read her perspective and her inner thought life, it's fascinating.
Yep.
And
I completely
agree.
agree.
It just helps me in my own life. Like, when I'm facing struggles like that, to see, like, somebody else model that. Like, I love her so much.
To kind of stay with your convictions when it, like you said, like, when it's a really hard choice to make. And also the fact that she continued to question authority or question what she was told at face value. She, even as a little orphan in the orphanage or whatever, she really questions that. And I just thought that's so endearing.
I love this. It has, like, a quote on the back of Jane's. She says, "Do you think because I'm poor, obscure, plain, and little, I'm soulless and heartless?"
Oh, that's so good.
I just love that. She has so many good quotes.
Oh, it is. Yeah, it's a good. It's a classic. That is so, you can reread it, you can get something out of it every time, and it's not a classic where you're slogging through, it's like short chapters, and it's like so much happens, and when she meets Rochester, it's just like, it's so charming when they meet. It's like a meet cute, really, like from a movie.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, it's like, so in every movie, like a rom-com or whatever, there's always like a meet cute. Like, the way they meet always has to be something kind of quirky or different or charming. And theirs is...
Oh, yeah?
It might be the original meet cute. Like, it's just a really... the way they meet is so dear. And they're funny together. And also, like, she has such strong convictions, and yet she falls for a man who's pretty flawed.
Oh, very. Yeah.
Like, he's kind of a rogue.
Like, he's somebody that I probably wouldn't like very much, but seeing him through her eyes, I really love Mr. Rochester.
I know, he's kind of like rough and tumble. He's kind of, it's so, oh my word, it could be my favorite romance, but it's definitely my favorite classic for sure.
Yeah, because I think it's so much more than a romance. Even,
yes, I agree.
Just because of Jane's character. And also, like, I was really surprised by it the first time that I read it, because when you think of a classic and this type of classic, I picture something very, like, contained, conservative, which it is, but, like, the plot goes in some crazy places.
Yes, it really does.
Like, and it was surprising.
Yeah.
No spoilers, but some crazy things happen.
It's so hard to not, because I want to talk about it, but I don't want to give spoilers either. But there's so many things that happen that are really crazy. And you think for the time that this was written, and it was written by a woman, you think, wow, that's really scandalous.
Very, yeah.
Can't say enough about it. That's so funny that we both chose it.
I love it.
I love your copy. Mine looks tiny and nothing. And I
what the heck?
Yeah, yours is gorgeous.
It just looks so thick. Well, it is short.
Yeah, true.
Is it shorter than yours?
No, mine's even shorter.
I don't understand books.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't know how books work. So, those are just a collection of our favorites. Just a real quick decision-making process. If we left any book out, we apologize.
I'm so sorry.
we'll probably film again. So if you enjoy, please like, subscribe, comment. Oh, and turn on your notifications.
Yes.
I forgot about that.
Ring the bell.
Yeah, I don't have to text all of my followers, which is my family. All right. Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.